bad, man. They can hear now. Yo, 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 yo. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me.
Cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since all the dominance. One West rising to prominent. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. quiet, mute my maneuvers. But I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been this proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm throwing them off Patron and premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modify the chopper. The war heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they eat song, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had them niggas feel like a tire, down the deep. And I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because UP. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
Check, 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 check. We live? All right, let's clap it up. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. All right, man. Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. We the ISUPK under Commander General Yohanan started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. You know what I mean? We come out here to teach our Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers and sisters the truth according to the Bible, as opposed to what they might hear from their Christian church, their Muslim mosque, and all type of synagogues that they go to now, right? So, first off, man, let me start off by saying, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shabbarakatah to the brothers in the chat, man. Who we got in here? Let's see. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Athabah Shem Shot to the sisters in the chat. Shantae, get Shantae a hand, man. Shantae rocking it out. Reggie, big stepper. Summer, okay. Getting ready. Jonathan, Big John. Okay. Let's get it, man. We doing good tonight, man. I appreciate y'all for joining in, man. Y'all people, y'all persistent in saving y'all own lives in here, man. Yeah, y'all trying to change, man. Get these brothers and sisters a hand, man, for tuning in, man. Staying consistent. You know what I'm saying? It takes a strong individual to stay consistent with us. You know what I'm saying? We some hard brothers to be around. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of correcting going on in here. You know what I mean? A lot of it. And today, man, we're going to touch bases on a few topics, but the main overall topic is that we as Black, Hispanics, and Native American people are very, 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 very forgetful. We are extremely forgetful. Extremely. Right? What do I mean by forgetful? Right? I mean, we can look at a person that killed our family members and look at him as if, or that unalived our family members and look at him as though he never did a thing, right? Let me expound on it. We can look at the person that tortured our forefathers right in the face and say we love him and forget what he did and say it's in the past. That's not forgiveness. That's forgetfulness. Because if I see anybody, let me give you an example. George Floyd. I'll never forget George Floyd, and I'll never forget the person that did it to him. You know why? Because that's somebody's father. He belonged to a family, right? He's my brother. That's something that I would never forget. And what so happens is over time, man, with us being Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans that have such a big heart, we'll look at the things that's happening, that happened in the past, and we'll look at it as just that. It's in the past. It's over with. as if it's not happening today, right? Hey, Darash, give me Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's happening now, man, it's not new, right? And when that being said, it's that you would think that the things that's continually happening all the time would make us remember the things that happened before, right? As far as just the catastrophic things that's happening to Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We just did a beautiful thing, man, under the tutelage of Commander General Yohana and the ISUBK, a beautiful thing up there in Cornwallis, man, a beautiful thing for those people who had little to no hope of progression, just was consistent in the way that they was living their lives, loved how they was living, didn't want to change. We had a beautiful push up there in Cornwallis to where a lot of them really saw the light and saw another way out. They saw an opportunity that they would have never seen if the ISUBK was not out there that day. The children had hope in fathers that they never seen before when they seen us. You get what I'm saying? Like, so we did a beautiful thing. Come to find out, turn around, I think it was a few days ago or yesterday, a little girl got shot in a drive-by in Cornwallis, right? So you know what that means? That means, yeah, we took one step forward, but we got a lot more steps to go, man. We got a lot more steps to go, man. The job doesn't stop there. That was a drop of what we can do for Cornwallis and Durham. Right here teaching classes in Fayetteville, this is a drop of what we can do. But you watch, man. You watch closely what how the Lord uses the ISUBK, man. We're not done with Cornwallis, man. We're not done. And that was a tragic thing that happened to that little girl. And if we were there, if the Lord, if they just allow us to be used in that neighborhood more, that will never happen again. Never. But go ahead and read that, Darash.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9.
The
thing that hath been, it is that which shall be.
The thing that had been, it is that which shall be. What does that mean? Right? What does that mean, Darash?
Meaning the things that have always been. It's the same thing that's going on now.
That's right. That's right. The things that happened before is the same things that's going on now. The same thing that's going on now. That's it on that? Keep going.
And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
There is no new thing under the sun, man. They was terrorizing us back there for 400 years before slavery. They're terrorizing us now 400 years after quote-unquote slavery. They was terrorizing us 400 some odd years before the boats. They're terrorizing us 400 years after the boats. They're never going to stop, right? This people that's oppressing the Lord's people have a perpetual hatred towards us, and it's never going to end. These things that you're seeing on the news every day, these drive-by, these black-on-black crimes, these white-on-black crimes, black-on-white crimes, it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. You see drug addicts today, well, there were drug addicts back in the New Testament. You see child alternative lifestyle living people. They did that back then, right? No, there's nothing new under the sun, man. Shalom, Erica. You know what I mean? There's nothing new under the sun. And when we as black people, when we learn that, we have to always remember that and never forget it. We tend to forget things when time gets caught into play. We'll see it. We'll be mad for a time, but after that little time, we'll get sung a song by Joe Biden, by the black movement groups or whatever you want to call them. We'll get sung a sweet song and we'll just let it sweep on the rug. We'll forget it once again. You know what I mean? Read that from the top, Darash.
Okay. It's the book of Ecclesiastes,
right?
Chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, that which shall be done.
Right. Keep going.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
There's no new thing under the sun, man. Let me tell you what's not new under the sun. having an oppressor lie to you and say that you were free, right? That's not new under the sun. That's not new. Telling Black, Hispanic, and Native American people that you're not slaves today. You're free. You're free. That's not new under the sun. Guess what else is not new under the sun? Guess what else is not new? Us being under the foot of this oppressor. That's not new. That's not new, man. It's been that way, right? 4th of July, man, this wicked holiday coming up, that was never meant for Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man. Never meant for us, man. Their holidays were never meant for us. And guess what that is? Guess what else? That's not new under the sun. There's a lot of things that were written in this world that were never supposed to be for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And we should look at it like it's not new. We shouldn't be surprised. It's how we should automatically think. Whenever they come up with these laws that sound like they're helping Black people, we need to automatically think about July 4th. We need to automatically think about the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. We need to automatically think about these things because those things were not for us. Nothing that this country does is for the benefits of Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. It's only for the betterment of them and their nations, right? In 1776, man, what were we doing as Black, Hispanic, and Native American people? What were we doing? What were we doing, Darash?
Picking cotton.
We was picking cotton. Picking cotton, I believe so. I'm not sure, but I think the Benjamites was picking tobacco or something like that. Sugar cane, yeah, raising rice. Like, come on, man. What was we doing? When the Constitution was written, how was it for us? Was it? When it said every man is created equal? Every man was created equal in the Constitution. Well, guess what that same Constitution says about Black, Hispanic, and Native American men at the time? Guess what it said? That we were 3/5 of man. So you telling me that every man is created equal? It take me and 2/5 of Darash to make one man. So only part of us is equal to one white man, one Chinese man. Only it take 2 to equal 1. That's sick, man. And the quicker we realize that this nation was never built for Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, the quicker we can come out of this hellhole. The quicker we can stop popping rockets off to celebrate what they did, to celebrate a whip on our backs. We popping rockets off to celebrate picking cotton because that's what we were doing. We popping rockets off in what is July 4th? What is it, Independence Day? To celebrate their independence. They don't have nothing to do with us, man. We were suffering and dying then, and we are still suffering and dying today because we forget. We forget, man. We forget the oppression that they put on us so long ago. We forget the systematic oppression that they're still putting on us today. We forget about the lynchings that happened in the 1800s and early 1900s that's still happening in Mississippi today. We forget about it. We forget about the drugs that they pushed in our communities in the 80s. What's his name? Ronald Reagan? We forget about these things, man. And over time, we get put to sleep and we think that, oh, that's in the past, not knowing that nothing happened in their lives to change their ways or their outlooks on life. They still look at us the same. They still think we're filthy and underneath them, beneath them. They still think that we're the lowest on the earth, man. The lowest on the totem pole when the Most High said that we're the greatest. That's what they think, man. And we forget these things, man. We forget our ways, man. Give me Matthew 6:24, man. We forget our ways, man. And in doing so, we turn to the ways of the people that's making us forget, that's singing us to sleep. We go to the easy way. Like their way of life is easy. You go, they wake up, they go to work, and they give out orders, and they show you a song and a dance, and they give you like a movie, and you like, dang, man, I wish I had that kind of lifestyle. Dang, so much so that in certain aspects you'll turn against your brother just to get that kind of lifestyle, just to get it. You'll see his way of life And you'll see, and you'll be like, dang, I need that. I need to get that. Let me work my way up to the top so that one day I can be just like him. And in doing so, you know what you have to do to get like that? 9 times out of 10, you know what you have to do? You got to do exactly what he did. You got to step on some brothers' necks. You're going to have to. You're going to have to, in order to get where he got, how he got there, you're going to have to be crooked somewhere. Somewhere you can't be on the straight and narrow. Somewhere you're going to be crooked. You're going to deviate from the path that you was on in your oppression. You're going to deviate from your childhood growth. You're going to start being, man, maybe I should do like this, man. He living good. He got a nice wife, happy life. Maybe I need to do some of the things that he's doing. And in doing so, you're no longer serving the God of this Bible. You're no longer doing the things that you were doing before. You're taking an alternate route. And what does the Bible say about that? Read that, Darash.
Khan, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24.
Right.
No man can serve 2 masters.
You can't be for the Bible and for America. You can't be for the Most High and for America. You can't be for the people oppressed in the neighborhoods and for the presidency. You can't be for the people on the street corner that can't get a job and for your boss. You can't serve the God of the Bible and celebrate July 4th. You can't do that, man. No man can serve 2 masters unless what? Go ahead.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
You're going to hate one and love the other, man. While you up there doing whatever you can to get to the highest point you can in your job alongside your oppressor, you're stepping on your brothers along the way. You're not going to do it the righteous way. Because if you did, you wouldn't even get there. He will make it so hard for you to get where he's at. But a lot of us would rather take the easy way out, man. We'll rather do what he did. We'll rather be ahead of everybody else and not rather suffer with each other, man. We'll rather skip a block or 2 just so we can be better for our family, for our sakes. And that's selfish, man. And in doing so, when we do get up top, you know what's going to happen? We're going to forget once again. We're going to forget about how we grew up. We're going to forget about that mama struggling to feed all 5 of us. We're going to think we high on the horse. Y'all ever heard of that? High on the horse. We're going to feel big-headed like he is. We're going to do the things he do. We're going to look at ramen noodles like, I don't eat that. Ew. Get that filth away from me. We're going to go to the hood and see struggling children or homeless people and be like, get a job. No man can do what? Read from the top.
No man can serve 2 masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other.
And love the other, man. We love this oppressor, man. We love him so much so that we forget the chains and shackles that he put on us back in 1776. We forget the ropes around our necks in the 1800s that he had around our necks while they were singing jingles. That's what we forget, man. We love him so much that we hate our own people, man. That we forget the devastating things that they did to our people and the things that they're doing to us now in the 2000s. George Floyd wasn't that long ago with a knee on his neck. Fernando Castillo wasn't that long ago. George Zimmerman walking out free wasn't that long ago. You get what I'm saying? We forget these things, man. That's why time is a hell of a drug. And I'm going to always say it. Time is a hell of a drug. If you're a man, right, in this nation, you're a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, you shouldn't be able to be uneased. You should always be uneased. Always. You should never feel comfortable in this kingdom where they're damn near obliterating our people. You should never feel comfortable. You should never just be like, oh, so happy when things like little girls getting shot in drive-bys is happening in Cornwallis, Durham. You should never feel like that when you go in Walmart and you see 40 Black, Hispanic, and Native American women, little girls on the wall missing. You should be uneased all the time. But you know, when you see a brother that's not uneased, you automatically has to know that he's forgotten. He's forgotten. He swept it under the rug. He'd rather not deal with it. So he turned a blind eye. You know what'll make him open up his eyes? if it happened to his daughter, if it happened to his kids. Oh, now he remembers now. Now he remember how wicked the oppressor is on the earth, right? Now you want to remember so much. Now you want everybody to be on your side and go help you find your daughter and go help you do this for your family because you guys are suffering when you forgot about theirs. When you forgot about the people in the highways and byways living under the bridge. When you forgot about them. You forgot about them. We forget in this nation, man. But the Most High God said we need to always remember this, man. Always remember how this oppressor is treating us, man. Never forget how he did us in the times of old. Never forget how he did us in the 2000s. Never forget how he did us in 1776. Never forget, man. You should never forget that. And it's wise not to ever forget. Keep read that again, Darash.
Khan, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
No man can serve two masters.
Uh-huh.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
And love the other. Salak, if I may, can you pull up can you look up this exact thing? Slaves in 1776 on Google, Bible Shah. Slaves in 1776, man. It's a sad thing, man, that we have to go through this rhetoric of trying to remind our people of things that they see today because they forget that it happened in the past. Like, we should never forget about dogs being sick on us. Why should we never forget about that? Because it happens today. Why should we never forget about lynchings? Because we have Lynchburg, North Carolina. It happens today. These cities and towns were named after us being tortured, unalived. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's constant reminders all around us, so much so that we should never, ever forget, man. Never forget. Go up to the sign, Salakia, Baba Kashar. Look, this is us. This is us. No, Salakia, go down. This is us in the 1600s. It was another picture, but no, never mind it. But come on. Yeah, we could just go to 1776. We could just read this. The Declaration of Independence. We're gonna skip down to here. Slavery flourished initially in the tobacco fields of Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina. Salaki. Can you read it, Baba Kashar? Go ahead. The water. We got to remember this, man.
All right. Slavery flourished initially in the tobacco fields
right.
of Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina.
Right.
In the tobacco producing areas of those states, slaves constituted more than 50% of the population by 1776.
That means you see that word by? They constituted more than 50% of the population by 1776. It was still growing. It wasn't decreasing. It was growing. That population was growing. Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. Keep going. Read that last little part.
Slavery then spread to the rice plantations further south.
You got to understand this, man. 1776 didn't stop a dang thing. Didn't stop nothing. Nothing ended in 1776. But a lot of pride began to raise. You know what they realized in 1776? Oh, now they can use and abuse us in a different way, in a different manner. That's all that changed, man. That's all that changed. Nothing else changed. We still had shackles on us. They removed them at some point from off our feet and off our ankles, and they put them on our mind. Slavery is still happening today, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. It'll never change, man. Look at this, man. Negroes just arrived from the windwards. Go ahead.
So, like, if I may,
uh-huh.
You know, what comes to my mind is us when we were in the land of Goshen,
right?
And how we were reproducing there,
right?
And under intense duress,
right?
We have the ability to, become more than 50% of the population,
right?
Here in the tobacco producing states of the South,
right?
During the antebellum slavery period,
right?
So, I'm getting back to your point where you talked about, us forgetting about how America was formed.
Right.
There's a quote by this devil named Honoré de Balzac.
Right.
And he says, behind every great fortune is an even greater crime.
Right.
And that's akin to what you're saying with respect to us serving two masters. In order for you to get ahead in this society, you have to put your foot or your knee on another brother's neck.
That's right.
That's
right.
To get ahead.
Right.
And here in Isupk, Commander Junior Hana has showed us another way.
Right.
You know, we move in the spirit of brotherhood.
Right. That's right. No, that's a heavy point, man. Get that brother a hand. That's extremely heavy point, and that brings up another point too as well. You know who else didn't forget about them slave trades while we was on that boats? Them sharks in the Atlantic Ocean. They still circle that same path right now, hoping and wishing they'll drop a morsel in that dang water. They remember, but we forget. And in doing so, in that same scenario that you brought up with us, how we populated, the Lord blessed us, man. The Lord blessed us so much and so well that the oppressor and all these other nations, they see it, man. They see it. They know that if they let us loose, well, we can do 50 years removed from slavery. They know if they let us continue, if they don't continue to poison our food and so on and so forth, they seen how we spread like a wildfire with these babies we making. You see how you thon. The water your house for that brother. He got a small city. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I may.
Go ahead.
There's a book called The Slave Ship, A Human History, written by someone named Marcus Rediker. And it's a small paragraph.
Right. Go ahead. I don't want you got it.
It says the greedy robbers. Sharks began to follow slave ships when they reached the Guinea coast. From Senegambia along the windward gold and slave coast to Congo and Angola, sailors spotted them when their vessels were anchored or moving slowly and most clearly in a dead calm. What attracted the sharks as well as other fish was the human waste, offal and rubbish that was continually thrown overboard.
Man.
Like a greedy robber, the shark attends the ships in expectation of what may drop overboard. A man who unfortunately falls into the sea at such a time is sure to perish without mercy.
And that statement, man, that's so crazy. It was a terrible time for us on them ships, man. I don't think you understand. First of all, we in a spoon. They packed it as full as they could pack it, overpacked it, so that they can make as least trips as possible.
Right.
And in doing so, we was in a spoon-like fashion. Now you got to start thinking of what normal day-to-day life goes on within a month of being Black, Hispanic, and Native American and being a woman and a child. You got babies that feces. Where can they throw their feces at? Nowhere, right there beside them. We urinating at the bottom of that boat in a spoon-like fashion. So, like, if you could you pull up a picture of a slave ship? We in there in a spoon-like fashion, head to toe, toe to head, one on top of the other. Now you got to think, what do women go through once a month? They go through their menstrual cycle. So you got women to the left and to the right of you having a menstrual cycle right beside you while you got to lay on that ship with them, right beside them. Now when you start smelling that stuff, right? You start smelling the blood, the menstrual cycle. You start smelling it, the feces, because you're using the bathroom, the urine. You start smelling these things. Now what begins to happen? Now you begin to throw up. You got to imagine, look at this, man. Look at this. This is sick, man. This is why you should never celebrate the 4th of July, man. You should never forget this, man. You should never forget to what they did. Look at us, man. Stack on stack on stack. You should never forget the 4th. You should never forget, man. You should never celebrate. You shouldn't pop a dang firework tomorrow, man. You shouldn't pop a dang firework. This is disgusting, man. How could you got to think of the mindset to do a people like this. A people, a human being, one human being doing this to another. You got to have a vile mind, man. You got to have a vile mind to let them just sit up there and lay in their feces, to lay in their vomit, to lay in their blood. What a disgusting power is over this time, man. What a disgusting man that's still over this nation. And we should never forget how disgusting he is. We should never forget. Give me James 1:25. We should never forget this spoon-like fashion. We should never forget that. We should never forget what they did to us in 1800s, right? Matter of fact, let me get no, go ahead. Go ahead, Daraja. Pull that when you get it. But Salaki Adawan, if you could look up 1847 slave reward poster. Baba Kashar. We should never forget these things, man. And I got something that I'm gonna pull up soon that y'all, I guarantee y'all don't remember. Y'all probably don't even know about. Some of you do if you've been in class long enough. But it shouldn't shock you, but it might blow your mind. 1847 slave reward poster. And this is after 1776, might I add. This is after we were quote unquote free and equal. This is after that, man. There we go, right there. That's one right there. Yes, sir. 1847, man. A slave reward poster. Let's see if it'll pull up. Yeah, man, these are things that we should never forget, man. We should never forget this thing, man. Look at this. $200 reward. 5 Negro slaves. They were looking for us. We was running. Oh, we was trying to get up the way. Running for our lives. Much like we doing today. Much like George Zimmerman running after Trayvon Martin.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? Much like that. Much like any black man, hands up, don't shoot when that movement was going around, running for their darn lives, running for their lives. And guess who? They still get shot in the back, right in the back. We're gonna do it one day, man. But I don't want to hold up too much time today. But just in your spare time, look up how many black brothers and sisters get shot in their back by police officers, right? Doing traffic stops or whatever the case. They get shot in their back. They're running for their lives. They get shot in their back. And you know what that should make us do? What should that make us do, Darash?
Make us change our way of thinking.
Make us change our way of thinking and remember. It should make us remember that we're not just doing this in the 2000s, running from cops because they're trying to kill and unalive us, right? We've been doing this since slavery, running for our lives. We're running for our lives. We should never forget that. It's hard to forget. You damn near got to be forced to forget. But you know what our brothers and sisters will do? We so forgiving. We'll look at that. It's all in the past. It's all in the past. Until God forbid that sad day come around where now your daughter is the one running from the cops. Your son is the one running from the cops. We just had a brother today. Salaki, was it yesterday or the day before? Brother in Fayetteville gets shot up by the cops. Granted, whether he's right or wrong, it's a signification that we're an oppressed people. Right. That brother chose to die than to go back to jail. He won't going back to jail. He chose to give his life. He said, I can't do it. I can't go in there and be coddled up in a spoon-like fashion again. I can't do that. I can't do that and lay beside the toilet with feces and pee is. It reminds me too much of that spoon-like fashion on that sip. That brother did not want to go back in that hole, in that cage. He did not want to do it. So the brother let what happened happen, man. You know, Lord be with his family, man. But that just shows a tad bit of the oppression that we face under this evil, cruel leader over this nation, man. Evil, man. Read that, Darash.
Khan, it's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein. You doing the perfect law of liberty. You doing the law of righteousness. You looking into these law, statutes, and commandments, and you following them righteously. Go ahead. He being not a forgetful hearer.
Him being not a forgetful hearer. When I hear about Trayvon Martin, I'll never forget it. When I hear about a spoon-like fashion and feces and we getting fed to sharks, I'll never forget it. When I hear about babies getting fed to alligators, I'll never forget it, man. When I hear about lynchings that happened in the 2000s, I'll never forget it. Keep going.
He being not a forgetful hearer.
Him being not a forgetful hearer. I don't forget these things, man. The men in the ISUBK under Commander Gianna, we never forget these things, man. Go ahead.
But a doer of the work.
But a doer of the work. That work that we did out in Cornwallis, that's a doer of the work. We went out there, we seen things that were about to happen and transpire in that neighborhood. And to Wadi Howard, we made a change. We saved somebody's life. That Lord willing, that thing that happened right after we left, would never happen again. We just need, it's more consistency, man. We're doing the work. We just got to keep at it, right? And you know why we do the work? Because we don't forget, man. We don't forget the things that we hear and that we see. So we see something about this transpire, we're going to do our damnedest to put our best foot forward and go try to save a life. Right. Go try to save a child without a father. Right. Go try to save a drug addict that's on their last leg that want to give up their life. Go try to save a brother that'll rather give his life than go sit in the cage. That's what we'll do, man. We'll do whatever we can. Why? Because we don't forget the things that what? Read it again, Josh.
He not being a forgetful hearer,
right,
but a doer of the word.
Of the work. That's it on that?
No, sir. This man shall be blessed in his deed.
This man shall be blessed in his deed. We're blessed when we're doing the work of the Lord, man. We don't got to go to camp and turn our neck side to side. We don't got to fear for nothing because we're blessed in doing this work, man. We have a gift to do this work, man. Why you think people run up to us? Why you think them children that nobody wants to father? Why you think them little quote unquote monsters, as the world may call them? Why you think they run to us? Because we're blessed, man, and they see it. They see what's going on. They see what's going on. What let me check the chat. What the chat say? What Reggie talking about? He said Kentucky raid Case County. What's that? What's that, Reggie? I ain't heard of that one. It's probably another time when we were oppressed. Cross country? Kentucky raid, man. I ain't heard of that one though. It's so many of them, and that's sad. And with it being so many, you would think that Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans would always remember who's over them. But we don't, man. We don't. We're sick. We're sick, man. And that song that they sing in our ears, it sounds so good, man. It sounds so good. Salaki, if I may, can you look up The Planet? It's a newsletter. It's called The Planet. And look up The Planet on Saturday, January 4th, 1890. The Planet. I can do it. It's right. Saturday, it's Saturday, January 4th, 1890, The Planet. It should pop right up. But yeah, man, like it's so many of these things that happen to our people. It's hard to forget, man. You gotta want to forget. Like the way that George Floyd died or passed away, you gotta want to forget that. 1890. January 4th, 1890. You gotta want to forget that, man. January 4th. There you go. You gotta want to forget these things, man. Salaki, is this it? Yeah, zoom in on that picture, man. I just want to point something out. If you look to the left of that this image, I'm gonna wait till it pop up. You can't forget stuff like this, Black man, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. You cannot forget this. Can't forget it. And this is after 1776. This is after July 4th. This is after. Look at this. So to the left, to the right, you see the lynching that's occurred. They pulling the brother up on the tree. They lynching him. Up under that, you got a description of the brother and so on and so forth. Look to the left, under the planet. This is a song. It said, "You kissed me." This is a song that they were singing while they hanging this brother. You kissed me. You kissed me. Are you serious? Are you serious? What is this? What should this remind you of? My bead bag dropped low on your breast. Look at this, man. They're singing. This is a song. This is a song on a poster of a lynching. A song, man. Who is it written by? Go. It's at the top. It's at the top. Who is it written by? Go down. By Josephine S. Hunt. S. Hunt. Hunt. Ooh, that's a name fitted. Hunt. Josephine S. Hunt wrote a beautiful song. Oh man, such a wonderful song. While our brothers was getting hung from trees. That's something that you should never forget. And by the way, like I said before, it happened after 1776. Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, you ain't never been free. And you ain't gonna never get free until we all come and serve the one true God under the helm of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, man. You ain't gonna never be free, man. Never. Remember this, man. Remember that brother hanging from that tree. You remember him, man. Why should you remember him? Because your father, your great granddaddy did the same thing. He was hanging once too. You should never forget. You should never forget. Why? Because the same thing that happened to George Floyd, Fernando Castillo, so on and so forth, can happen to you and your child. You can be as easily taken from your child as they were from their family. As easy. You should never forget the power that's over this nation right now, man. Never forget who you go to work for. Never forget that, man. Read that from the top, Daraj.
Khan, it's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein.
These brothers and sisters in the ISUPK, man, we look at on these law, statute, commandments, man, and we stand on this, man. We do the work. We do what the law, statute, and commandments say. We out here saving our people, man. We're doing the work of the Lord, man. Go ahead.
He being not a forgetful hearer.
Him being not a forgetful hearer. We remember the things that we're taught. We remember these things. We remember this brother getting lynched on a tree and them singing a song right beside him. We remember these things, man, that happened after 1776. We remember these things, man. We remember being 3/4 a man, still all 3/4 a man. We remember that. We never forget that. We remember when they said all men are created equal. They weren't talking about us. We remember that, man. We remember getting taken from our parents when we were 3 and 4 years old. We remember that, man. We remember the drugs and oppression that they pushed in our neighborhoods in the 80s. We remember these things. We hear them and we remember the things that we learned. Go ahead.
But a doer of the work.
And we do the work, man. We're not a forgetful thinker. We don't forget what we hear, man. And we do the work. We don't forget it and we put it into play. We use it in our day-to-day, man. Give me Romans 15:4. We use what we learn. We don't just turn a blind ear to it or a blind eye. We remember the things of old. You know why? Because they were written for our learning. That through patience and comforts of the scriptures, man. We do this because we see what can happen if we follow the Most High power. We see the power that we have in not forgetting systematic oppression. And not forgetting why we're in the hell that we're in. That's why we do it, man. We do it because we see power in not forgetting. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Read that again, Darash.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
The things that was written before in the Old Testament was written for our learning, man. Everything that was written before was written for our learning. Also synonymous with the things that's going on in today's time. And them things that we seen happen in our lives before, that we should have learned from that. We should have learned never to trust this oppressor that's over us, man. Telling us it's okay, man, with his soothed tongue. We should never forget that. Because that was for our learning. We learned something with that, man. We were supposed to learn from that. We weren't supposed to go back and tuck our tail again. We were supposed to learn from that. Hold on, give me 1 second. We were supposed to learn from that. Let me see if y'all know what this is, if y'all seen this before. Let's see if y'all seen this. Whoa. Look familiar? It look familiar? Slaki. It look familiar? Hold on 1 second, y'all. We got to understand these things, man. We got to never forget these things. And it's mighty hard, might I add, to forget these things. You got to want to forget. You got to want to be blind. You have to want to be blind to not understand that this oppressor is not for us. You have to. You got to want to not know. You have to want to not know at all. You have to. You got to. Because it's impossible. Look at that. Runaway slave patrol. Man, that thing look mighty familiar. Mighty, mighty, mighty. The slave patrol. Look at that. Deputy sheriff. Ooh wee. Gotta love America. Gotta love America. And this goes into how they protrude and mix up the reason that we have this shield. They take our culture and they turn it into whatever the hell they want to. Right? This is our signet. This is a signet of our King David. Right? But they'll take it and they'll go worship the devil with it, or they'll create a slave patrol with it because they know that there's power behind this. They know there's power in being a Jew, being an Israelite. So they took that power and they used it against us. They put it on their chest and they put slave patrol on it, or they put sheriff office. That's what they did. Either or makes me know, never mind. Just a new name, but the same body behind it, the same spirit behind it, the same people behind it. These people are never for us, man. You think our judicial system is for Black, Hispanics, and Native American people? You think so? You think so? Look at Rib of Quadam. She said, "I want to forget." And you know what? That's a heavy statement, man. That's a heavy statement, sis. And you're right. And I can understand why you want to forget, but it's better if you never do, because so many of our people, our Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers and sisters have forgotten. And in doing so, or them forgetting, look at the condition that we stay in. We stay in a time where Black, Hispanic, and Native American people think that the oppressor can never do no wrong, that the oppressor is different. That was in the past. And in doing so, now we'll go join with them. Then we'll find out that our little boy got drowned in the ocean by his 3 oppressor friends. He was out there playing on the swing and they accidentally wrapped the swing around his neck, and now he got rope burn around his neck for the rest of his life since he was 8 years old. That's what happened when we forget. When we forget who they are. When we forget who these people that the Lord told us not to never join with are. When we forget that, we got hell to pay. Go ahead, Darash.
And Salakia, just looking at that makes you think like they're doing it right in your face. Like
right.
They're taking something that was originally yours,
right,
and then using it against you,
right,
as a mockery,
right,
to keep you in check,
right.
So I mean, you want to kind of keep an eye out for things like that. It's done right in front of your face. If you don't know what's going on, you'll be blind to the disrespect that's right in front of you.
That's heavy, Darash. Give Darash a hand, man. Give Darash a hand. Give Darash a hand. You right, sis. You want to forget how they still doing this, but you can't because they're still doing it. And like my brother Darash said, they put it right in front of your face. That's why it's so pertinent that we know and learn our history, right? It's so like important that Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians know where we come from and know what we had to do to get here and know why we're still in these conditions that we're in now. You have to know where you came from to know where you're going. You got to know how you got here in order to know how to get out of it. You got to know. You got to know. But when we choose to just forget and let it roll over, you know what we're doing? We disobeying the Lord, man. Because the Lord told us never to forget. We can't forget, man. We can't forget the ways of this old oppressor, man. We can't get. Give me Leviticus 26 and 14, Baba Kashah. We can't forget, man. We got to always remember, man, that it's a power that we serve. And in doing so, that almighty power, when we serve him, he'll serve us. He'll bless us. He'll do the things that we need, right? He'll keep us strong. Our enemies will be his enemies, right? But we got to also look at the flip side on that. When we choose to forget and wash it under the rug, we choose to just to forget the things that happen for our people, disregard them. When we choose to do that, and we choose to just join ourselves to the oppressor and disobey the Most High, we got to take what come with it. Read that, Darash, Leviticus 26 and 14.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 14.
But
if ye will not hearken unto me,
if you do not listen unto the Lord, man. If you go out here and you celebrate the 4th of July tomorrow, you go out here and you shuck and jive and you dance and you do all manner of evil unto the Lord. You go out there, you give a sweet song, you pop a balloon. What they do? They do the whole the cookout thing. What else they do for July? It ain't a sin to cook out, by the way. But on you doing it for that purpose, doing the fireworks, hanging the flag in the yard, all that, wearing the red, white, and blue striped flag, saluting the flag, doing the pledge of allegiance, all that. When you're doing that, go ahead.
Salakia.
And
Salakia, I'm gonna start it over.
Start off from the top.
But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, verse 15. And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant.
You hear that? Is that through 15?
Khan.
If you don't now start over at 15, Baba Kashah.
Khan, this book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 15. And if ye shall despise my statutes.
Now, if you despise his statutes, go ahead. If you hate them, you don't want to do it, because in doing so, you're going to be oppressed. You're going to be looked at funny for not eating that pork, for not celebrating those holidays, for not celebrating the 4th, for not doing a birthday for your son or your nephew, right? Go ahead.
Or if your soul abhor my judgment,
you hate his judgments. You can't stand them. Your soul treats it hatefully. How does your soul treat his judgments hatefully? Disregards them. Say, oh, that's not for me. I'm gonna do this, but not do that. Keep going.
So that ye will not do all my commandments.
So that you won't do them. So they won't be for you. Right? No, I'm not gonna do that. No, it don't feel right in my soul. That don't feel right in my spirit. I can't do that. The Lord said, if I pray over it, it's good to eat. Go ahead.
But that ye break my covenant.
You break my covenant. You break the covenant with the Lord, man, when you celebrate the 4th of July.
Right.
You break the covenant of the Lord when you choose to just eat a morsel of swine, just a tad bit, just a pinch of pork, just a little bit, right? You break the Lord's covenants when you celebrate your son's birthday. You do that. You break the Lord's covenant. You break the Lord's covenant when you choose to forget how your people been oppressed for over 400 years in this kingdom. You break the Lord's covenant, man. And you spit on the lives of all the Black, Hispanics, and Native American brothers that gave their life for this filthy country, man. That's what you do. You spit on them, man. You spit on Christ's grave when you do anything opposed to what he taught. When you go out here and you celebrate the way of the heathen. Right. When you do these things that how you feel, according to how you feel. When you allow your soul to do what? Darash at 15.
If your soul abhor my commandments.
When your soul, when you allow your soul to abhor the commandments and the judgments, you spitting on Christ's grave, man. You better fight. You better fight, man. You better look at them little girls on the wall and think that could be your daughter, if that'll help you. Do whatever you will to never forget, so that way you can stay strong in this truth. And you can stand fast with these men of the Lord. You can stand fast with the commandments, man, and do them righteously. You do whatever you can do to serve the Most High power, man. That's an order. It's an obligation. You do it whether you want to or not. Keep going, Darash.
So that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant. Verse 16.
Right.
I also will do this unto you.
He also will do this unto you. He also going to do what? Abhor you. Keep going.
I will even appoint over you.
Right.
Terror.
You see what's happening in today? A terror is appointed over. Look who we got to choose from. Look who we got to choose from, man. We got Biden to choose from, or we got Trump. Right? Look who we got to choose from. What they say, the lesser of two evils. Why we got to pick an evil? What the devil is going on? What the devil? We got to choose. You got to choose. What? Wait a minute. Run it. Say it again. Got to choose the lesser of two evils. It sounds ridiculous, man. But you know why the Lord is appointing them over us? Because we chose to do what we want to, and we chose to make this oppressor over us our father. We chose to make him our Lord over the Most High of this Bible, over the Most High of Israel. We chose to make his ways our ways over the ways of the Lord. We chose this, man. Keep going.
Terror, consumption, and the burning egg that shall consume the eyes.
You hear that? You hear that, man? Serving in this nation, man, we're under a terrible terror, right? And we're dying every day because of it. We're suffering every day because of it. Our children are suffering every day because of it. Our children, we're not suffering because we're serving the Most High. We're suffering because we're not. And he's allowing it. It's like any father with a child. You disobey your child, you gotta discipline them. You gotta tell them no. You gotta discipline them. You gotta be on top of him. Pause. But you gotta be on top of the things that you teach and that you push. You gotta be on top of what the Lord laid down. You gotta be on top of this, man. Like I tell everybody, man, these are morals. These are morals, and they're found in the King James 1611 Bible, right? In this book, you're gonna find out what to celebrate, what not to celebrate, who to quote unquote mess with, who not to mess with, who to lay with, who not to lay with, and who to give your love to and who not to give your love to. The thing is that we forgot this. We forgot about this, right? And in doing so, we put ourselves in a hellhole, But fret not, brothers and sisters. We got time. We got time. We got time to get right. But it's up to us to choose, man. It's up to us to choose which way we choose to continue our lives, man. Do we want to continue in the direction that's leading us into a burning bush, into a burning hellhole? Or do we want to choose the law, statutes, and commandments of God, man, and save our lives and in doing so, save our children's lives, right? It's our choice at the end of the day. We can choose to remember or we can choose to forget. Choose to remember or choose to forget. It's your choice, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. Keep going. Go ahead, Salaki.
I hate to interject, but, you know, when you say we have time, we don't have time. You know, right now is the time for you to change your life.
Right.
The Bible describes Christ as returning as a thief of the night.
Right.
So right now is the time for you to change your life.
No, that's right.
So a lot of us hang our hat on the belief that tomorrow is promised.
Right.
Tomorrow is not promised according to the scriptures.
Heavy point.
You know what I'm saying?
Heavy point. Heavy point the brother made. Heavy point. I'm saying we got time because we're under grace, but that brother's point is heavy. That grace period is no, you're Tawab. That's a heavy point on top of that. You got time, just not a lot. Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Get it over the head. Most High in Christ. Heavy point. Don't think just because you got time you can drag your feet, because the Lord may just come tomorrow, and these couple of hours might just be that time that you have. You know what I'm saying? Heavy point, the brother, man. Hey, keep reading the Rosh.
Khan.
What verse you on?
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what's happening today. We're sowing our seed in vain, man. We want to get that job so bad that we'll step on our brother's neck. And who profits off of that? Our enemies. Not you. Not your brothers and sisters. Your enemies. Not us. Not the Rosh. Not the homeless people. Not the homeless people under the bridge in Fayetteville. Not the people in where was we at? Cornwallis. They don't suffer because we did filthy things to get where we need to be. I mean, they don't progress off of that. They suffer off of that, man. Keep going. Go ahead.
Lucky, I wanted to add to that as well. The oppressor doesn't really care for our people stepping on each other as long as they reach their goal.
Right.
Quota, sell,
right,
whatever it is. They can have us fighting against each other, cutting at each other's throats. It doesn't even matter.
Right.
Them.
It's by any means.
Just as long as their goal is reached.
Right.
And the objective is confirmed.
That's right. And in doing so, that's a heavy point, DeRoss. Heavy point. The oppressor they don't care. They don't care what you have to do, just as long as you get them numbers on that board. We need them numbers. They don't care who you got to double cross, what neck you got to step on, just as long as they get what they need out of you. They don't care. They don't care, man. And in doing so, man, you sow an evil seed in this earth. You're teaching your children to be the same way that you are, wicked. And in doing so, you put yourself to sleep. You rock yourself to sleep. You start to forget that you was once that oppressed brother that you stood on his neck to get where you at. You start to forget these things. You start to forget that you and your mother, you had to raise your brother and sister because your mother was strung out on drugs. You start to forget these things, man. You start to forget about in 1776, we were still slaves. You forget these things, man. You forget. You see that sheriff badge and you look at it as it's a badge of hope now, because you forget that it used to say slave patrol on it. You forget it, man. You forget. Go ahead, DeRosh.
Salaki, are we still on verse 16?
Yeah, keep going.
I think that was the end of verse 16.
Keep going.
Verse 17. And I will set my face against you.
You know what's happening in this nation, man? The Most High set his face against us. You know why? Because we chose to serve another power other than him. We chose to look at his laws as though they don't mean a dang thing. We chose to look at not eating pork like it's not that serious. Not celebrating the way of the heathen like it's not that serious. Not following the ways of the oppressor like it's not that serious. Not forgiving your brother 7 times 7. We looked at that like it's not that serious. There's more people in the world. I don't got to forget that, brother. And you know what the Lord did in turn? Oh, yeah, do what you want to do. The Lord did what? DeRoss, read it.
And I will set my face against you.
The Lord set his face against us. Keep going.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Do you hear that, man? That's what's happening. That's what happened to that little girl in Cornwallis. She was slain before her enemies. That's what happened to George Floyd. He was slain before his enemies. That's what happened to the oppressed brother in Fayetteville, North Carolina the other day. Or was it earlier today or yesterday? Khan. It was yesterday. That's what happened to that brother yesterday. He was slain before his oppressors, man. The Lord allowed that to happen. We got to realize, man, when somebody's born into this earth, it's of the Lord. When somebody dies in this earth, it's of the Lord. Don't just bless the Lord's name in being born. Bless him in death as well. Because it happened for a reason. It might have happened to show you that you need to change your life, because you don't got that much time. You got time, but you ain't got time. I need a shirt. I need a shirt made. You got time, but you ain't got time. You know what I mean? Like you gotta take heed to these things, man. You got to. And in doing so, Lord willing, you'll save yourself or forget about you. You already lived your wicked life. How about you save your children? How about you help them to survive? How about you wake them up to how wicked these nations are and these things that's over top of us? How about you wake them up and take the blindfold off of their eyes so that they won't have to go to the pool or to the edge of a lake with 3 of the oppressor friends that they have and get drowned in the lake? How about that? How about that? How about you wake them up so they know that when they go to a park with just 4 or 5 of their oppressive friends, that they might just get wrapped around the neck on accident by a swing set? How about that? How about we just wake them up a little bit? Just a little. That's all I ask. That's all the Lord wants. Just wake up. Wake up, man. Open your eyes to what's going on every day of your life. To what's happening right now as this class is going on. There's another brother getting unalived by an oppressor. You can guarantee it right now. Keep going, Ross. What verse you on?
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
They that hate us shall reign over us. You know why? Why did the Lord turn his face against us? Huh? Why did the Lord turn his face against us, and why is there oppressor over us? Go ahead.
Because we despise his statutes and his...
That's right. Because we despise his statutes and his commandments. We look at them like they're null and void. We gonna no matter what, we gotta celebrate grandma's birthday. Granny gotta get a gift. She's 76. You gotta get her something. Oh, you don't love Granny if you don't get her. No, you gotta get her a gift. I just had a baby. He just turned 1. We gotta celebrate the first birthday. It's just a little swine. It's a pinch of pork. It's a little bit. It ain't a lot. I don't eat. You run into them brothers and sisters that be like, I don't eat pork. They be like, I eat bacon though. They be like, no, I don't eat no pork at all. You be like, you eat sausages? Be like, yeah, I eat. Yeah. They be like, you eat bacon? But yeah. I don't eat pork. I don't eat pig though. I don't eat swine. These brothers and sisters don't even know what pork is. I be lost sometimes. I be like, what you just say, brother? Run that back slowly. Salakia. What you say? You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And Salakia, some of them don't even know what ham is.
Yeah, they don't know what ham is.
They say ham is pork too?
Yeah, they look at you confused. Ham is pork too? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But because we chose to eat that swine, celebrate Granny's birthday, celebrate our child's birthday, celebrate a Christmas, go out here and pop fireworks tomorrow night. Because we choose to do that, the Lord turned his face against us and set our oppressor over us. That's why the Lord did it, man. The Lord ain't doing this because we remember all the ways of old. The Lord is doing it because we slowly but surely forgetting. We're forgetting the law, statutes, and commandments that he put down. Go ahead.
Like if I may, I'm pretty sure you probably got this precept. In Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 7.
Right.
That's on your list.
Yeah, go ahead, break it out. Go ahead, no sacrifice. The water.
Like if I may.
Go ahead.
You mentioned the Most High Power turned his face against us.
Right.
We serve a merciful Father.
That's right.
A merciful Lord that will turn back and accept us.
Right.
So in this scripture, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
Right.
And put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So, speaking about us having time, speaking about us,
right?
The Lord turning his back on us. We got to turn to the Lord.
That's right.
In order for us to be to receive that salvation, in order for us to be redeemed.
Right.
You know what I mean, and brothers and sisters got to realize that we do not have time. I understand what you're saying when you say we got time.
Right.
The grace factor.
Right.
But you don't know how much goddamn grace you have.
That's right. Might have 2 hours.
That's it.
You might have 30 minutes.
That's right.
You might got 2 minutes while I finish this. You better face the east. You better hurry it up. You might just have 32 minutes left. You might just have that. You might just have right at 32 minutes. 31 is counting down. That's what you might have. Or you might have none. The Lord could take your life right now as you're watching class. Let that simmer in your spirit. The Lord can take your child's life in their sleep. Let that simmer in your spirit. All because of what? Because you chose to eat a pinch of pork. Because you chose to eat a slab of swine. Because you chose to celebrate little Johnny John's first birthday. Because you chose to go against the Lord, man.
Right.
The Lord can wipe your whole life out. Just like that. Straight like that, man. Straight like that. You feel what I'm saying? We got to wake up, man. Wake up and smell the roses. I think I heard Kawal say that before. Wake up and smell the roses. How did he say it? Wake up and smell the roses. You got to smell them, man. You got to. You can't cover your nose when you go outside. You can't wear shades dark enough to where you can't see through them. It's clear as day what's going on with our people in this society. And we find the reasons as to why it's going on in this book. And we're reading them for you tonight. You know why we're first hired? A last hired and first fired? Because we disobeyed this book. You know why we're dying at the mass rate that we're dying? Because we disobey what's in this book. You know why so much black oppression, so much so that we're doing black on black crime, we're killing one another, so that one of us might have a little bit better of an oppression? Because we disobey what's in this book. We got to always remember, man, the foundation of everything is the start, right? And this is the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans foundation right here. This is our code of conduct. This is our do's and don'ts, our wills and won'ts, our yays and nays. This is for us. We just got to open it, man. We just got to open it. That's it, man. You know what I mean? Just open it up. Read the book. Just read it. Just see what it says. Keep going. Is that 18? That's verse 18, Darash? Keep going.
Verse 17.
Read 17 from the top.
Oh, God. The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 17. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Keep going.
They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
You see that, man? That's Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, man. They rule over us, man. They rule over us like no other. And we so blind that we don't see it. So blind. We so blind and we are so oppressed that we have made ourselves comfortable in our oppression. They gave us the swine and slops to eat. We were starving. We didn't have nothing else to eat, so we made it taste good. We made it. You can't make no pig taste like a black person can make a pig taste. That pig be delicious. Moist, delicious. That pig is good. When they be cooking, ooh, you can't make, you got it. You can't nobody make, we can make dirt taste good. But that's how oppressed, we got to think, that's how oppressed we were. When they gave us the pig intestines and told us that's what we had to eat, and we made it taste good, brother. We got to understand what that oppression did to us. That oppression made us blind. They giving us to this. Look, well, guess we got to work with it. Come on, fry it up, clean it real good, put some onions in it so it don't smell too good. Put a little vinegar and some peppers and onions in there, and you good. Ain't that how you used to cook it, Bunk, y'all? You know what I mean? But I'm saying, though, like, we got to realize, man, we made the worst thing possible on this earth to eat taste delicious. Pig intestines, pig feet, pig nose. All these things are abominations to the Lord. But we had to eat them at one time, and we did the best we could and made it work. When we should have just did like Maccabees and died. We should have starved to death. We should have starved to death. We should have had enough love for the Lord that we would say, forget our lives. We'll die before we eat that. We'll die. That's what we instill in our children in the ISUBK. That's what we instill in our women in the ISUBK and our men in the ISUBK, to have morals and to have a code of conduct. This is the foundation for Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And the ISUBK is the foundation of a great nation that's building under that. You got to understand, man, there's levels to this, right? And for any Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child, man, if you're listening, you need to get in class. If you're not in class, and if you are in class, you need to hold fast, because the time is ticking. Like my brother said, man, World War III is soon. It's nigh. It's right here. It's knocking at the door, right? Lord willing, Trump will get in office so he can hear him and press the button. Word up. And when Trump in office, me personally, I'm not voting, regardless, right? Christ is my vote. Christ got my vote. The Most High Power got my vote. But if I was to vote, you know who I vote for Trump. If I was to vote, I would. I ain't lying to you. Trump need to get in office, because with Trump in office, you know what? Go ahead.
Now you two out, sir. Sister Juanita had a question. Back to what you was talking about. It says God has control over everyone's death.
Yes, he does.
It said, please explain. Darash pulled the scripture for you now.
Okay, come on. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he. and there is no God with me.
When you understand that, you know that the Lord is the Lord of Lords, man. There's no God above the Most High power. If you live, it's because the Lord wants you to live. If you die, it's because the Lord allowed Satan to kill you, so on and so forth. You can't do anything without the Lord ordaining it. Right? Is that it on that? Go ahead.
I kill. And I make alive.
The Lord kills and he makes alive. Does that explain it, sis? The Lord is the Lord of Lords, man. There's no one above him. There's no one beside him. He's the Lord of Lords. He kills and he makes alive. Go ahead.
I wound. And I heal.
Right. Keep going.
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
Right. So if the Lord wants you, can't nobody save you. If the Lord wants you to die, you're going to die. The Lord wants you to live, you're going to live. No one can deliver you out of what the Lord wants for you. Straight like that. And guess what happens? When you serve the Lord, he'll bless you. When you disobey the Lord, he'll curse you. The Lord is easy. It's easy. He's a good daddy. He's a good father. Right? You be bad, you get punished. You be good, you get praised and blessed. Most High in Christ. There you go. End of story. It's easy. Easy peasy, pudding in pie. Ain't that the song? Easy peasy, pudding in pie. Something. Yeah, man. The Lord is the Lord, man. But does that answer your question, though, sis? If not, we'll expound some more. You know what I mean? The Lord is an austere man, right? He's a man of war. Lord don't play no games at all. What does a good father or a good mother want? That child to obey them. Right? That's it. That's it. You don't want them to you want them to disobey you? Bunky, y'all, you want your kids to disobey you? No, hell no. Officer Kowal, you want your kids to disobey you? No. You want little sexy reds running around? No, lie. Hey, no. Ooh, baby. Yeah. That's my song. Nah, let me stop. But I'm saying though, you got to understand, man, we serve a father, an almighty power, and he is our father. And when we disobey him, it just happens. And here's the thing about the Lord. Can't forget this now. We can get punished up until our third and fourth generation. So we can disobey the Lord now. You can be your sexy red all you want to. You can be your Creflo Dollar all you want to. And the Lord might not stricken you right then. Guess what? He'll let you keep growing and growing in your wickedness. He'll let your children grow and grow in their wickedness. But something might happen to their children. Something might happen to their children's children. That's why it's so important that we get it right now as Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We got 3 or 4 generations to keep it good in until the Lord has mercy on us. You know what I'm saying? We got to get right. We got to do it right now because we still got stuff we got to pay for. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense, sis? You get what I'm saying? But keep going on that. That's it on that, Darash?
Deuteronomy 32:39.
Okay, yeah, that's it on that. Drop that. Give me Romans 12 and 1. You know what I'm saying? We got to understand the power that we serve, man, and not forget it. All right, we got to remember the ways of old. We got to remember what was going on with our brothers and sisters back there on them rivers, man, crossing that river. We got to remember what's going on with the Mexicans today at the border. Remember what's going on in downtown Fayetteville. Remember, man, never forget how they used to sell us right there at the market house in downtown Fayetteville. We should never forget these things. Never. And in doing so, we join ourselves to the ways of new, not the ways of old. We join ourselves to the sexy reds, to the Kendrick Lamars, to the drug dealing gangbangers. That's what we join ourselves to these, to the oppressor, to the so-called oppressor on the earth. You get what I'm saying? To these devils. We join ourselves to them. And in doing so, the Lord looks upon us and he turns his face against us. And he allows them to be over us and control us and to devastate our lives and to push us more down deeper into poverty. Get that, DeRoss, when you get it.
Oh, God. It's the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, Brethren, by the mercies of God,
right,
that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
You got to understand, man, these brothers and sisters in the ISUPK, we present ourselves as living sacrifices unto the Lord, right? We gave our lives for you Black, Hispanics, and Native American people, for our Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers. Us in this truth, you see these brothers dressed in all black, you see these brothers with these headpieces on. These brothers have given their lives to serve the Lord for the betterment of a people, of their people, of the third and fourth generation of their families. These brothers have what it takes to raise up righteous people, raise up righteous nation. Any brother that's not willing to give up anything to serve the power or give up his goodness for the betterment of another family, he's not worthy of this right here, man. You're not ready to come in here yet. Because these brothers have given up the happy-go-luckies, the happy wives, happy lives. These brothers gave up not arguing with their wives to come in here and serve a power. These brothers gave up that cute, sweet smile that they get on their child's face at Christmas to come in here and serve the Lord. That nice, wonderful hug that their child would give them on their birthdays for saying some happy birthday. They gave that up to be in here. And guess what happened when they came in here and they gave all that stuff up? They found out that the hugs and kisses was so much better. Ooh-wee. For a time, it was bad. But over time, it just got so much better. Hugs so much tighter. Oh, come here. It was so much better serving the Lord, right? But sometimes that rough patch, it'll turn a brother away. It'll turn a sister away. But guess what you're ordered to do? You got to endure to the end. Everybody got to fight. Everybody. And that's why you have these other brothers and sisters to the right and left of you, and they here to fight with you, man. They here to do the job with you. Salaki lost it. They here to do it with you, man. They here to stand on business with you, man. And in doing so, we wake up a righteous nation, man. Oh, Most High Christ, sis. Ayanda bar. Ain't no thing, man. You know, anybody else got some questions in the chat? Type them in there. We get to it, get busy. Ain't no thing. You know what I mean? And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's Priest and Officer BATAZARWAN, Banya Howard, the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, started at 1 West 25th Street, Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group, man. We come to teach our people, the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that they're the greatest thing on God's green earth. We take a black man and a black woman in the lowest state they're in, and we raise them up to be in the highest state that they possibly could be, man. And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kawal for the security announcements.
ISUPK security announcements. With ISUPK started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. New rule for brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves in the world. If they need transportation, teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months, which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10th in Hebrews, pronounced by Asherah. 10%. For every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offer priest not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming holy convocations. You have the memorial of blowing of trumpets. First day of the 7th month. All right, we're going to celebrate this as the Wednesday, October 2nd. All right, you can find this in Leviticus 23rd chapter, verses 24 to 25. All right, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, Madium. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Madium Shabbat.
Men
of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel.
Shabbat. Money.
Yajmatah, class is dismissed.